Please welcome from Italy, Camila, Giorgi.
It was last year in Canada that Camila Giorgi won the biggest title of her career. She knocked up 6 top 40 players, her big baseline game working to perfection. And she's back now, straight away facing a Grand Slam winner. And that Slam winner is Emma Raducanu, who is getting closer to that US Open title defense. But first, she would surely like a deep run in Toronto. Second match of the day on the center court in Toronto. And just on this court, we had a 19-year-old winning in Giorgi, and Raducanu is 19 as well. Having the opportunity to play at this event for the first time. It was this time last year where she was coming off that very good result at the Wimbledon, making the second week. We're playing ITFs still for that huge run in New York. And she faces somebody on the tour who has been on tour for a long time in Giorgi. Here, Bucky is in the chair.
We are on the live DXC court, so that means that as long as you don't hear anything, the ball is good. We have set up on the net. We change over the short curve in this corner. The little screen over there. Do you have any questions? So it's going to be heads or tails. So you take the ball, you throw it on the heads, and you drop it on the floor. Heads. Serve. You stay there. You have to that out. Have a good match.
So Giorgi won the toss, electing to serve once we get this first round match underway in Toronto. Nice and bright, or brighter now in Toronto. We had some rain earlier the day before play again. Didn't affect the start time for the first match, so on schedule after yesterday, having quite a few rain delays, play being pushed back. It is a first round match between Camila Giorgi and Emma Raducanu, who is the number 9 seed. Mel South is alongside myself, Ravi, for this one. And Mel, she's talked about this year, being her first full year on the tour for Emma, trying to back up or play really after winning that US Open title. Is this just
blisters, the skin coming off? It was actually quite gruesome at times watching. So hopefully that tape just means that is recovering and nearly healed. But this will be a tough task for her out here today.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I'm sure she'll know about the game that Giorgi does have, and still a huge hitter. 30 years old, the Italian coming in ranked number 29, has been as high as number 26, and winning those 3 titles. It was a big run for her to win this event last year. That event last year was played in Montreal because, of course, they alternate. So that's just a different factor to consider. It is a different feel in Montreal as opposed to Toronto. How do you think that might affect things, Mel?
Yeah, it's just a different look. You feel good coming back to a tournament that you've won before, but it's a different setting for her, so definitely a different kind of defence to your title, but she has plenty of good memories from this tournament last year, even though it wasn't that different setting. But for Giorgi, there's a lot riding on this tournament and on this match itself. She's 29 in the rankings at the moment, but if she doesn't defend the point, she would go down to 74. So she really wants some wins on the board, especially because that 29th ranking gives her a seeded position in the US Open. So it's a big deal for her.
Yeah, it certainly is. Does bode well for that. Not so long ago, she was playing in Eastbourne, for example. She made the semifinals last year. She was able to do it again this season. So just getting some stability to that ranking. She's going to do that, so they're having to defend, of course, all those points at the US Open. Raducanu a little closer to a season entering 11 and 13. A couple of quarterfinals on the clay indoors in Stuttgart. Also, just last week in Washington, ran Igor close in one of those sets in Stuttgart. Iga on that massive winning streak. Ended up making the quarters in Washington, beaten by the eventual champion in Ludmila Samsonova. And speaking of rain delays, there was a lot of rain that day, so pushing back the start time, not to mention a very long match between Dan Evans and Yoshi Nishioka. High rates told the tale in that story. This is going to be the first meeting between these players. Giorgi's record overall 13 and 13, making the semifinals. He'll be assisted by Hawkeye Live, chair umpire, veteran in the chair. But Giorgi coming in having lost 3 in a row, including her opener at Wimbledon after a marathon loss also in San Jose to Veronika Kudermetova. Remains quite humid, dropping a little bit, however, now 68%, bit of a wind, 22 degrees Celsius. So the temperature's not too high and still overcast. Tactically, Mel, how do you see this match going? Do you think it's the case when Giorgi plays? Obviously, she has those big strikes to kind of have to weather the storm. Is there something more do you think Emma will try to do to impose herself?
Well, definitely. You have to see how Giorgi comes out here. She has one game style and one game style only, so at times you can see the win probability is very close between the two. Emma just eking it in terms of the rankings currently, but for Giorgi, she's going to attack every single ball, so you know you can't drop it short. She's going to have to keep a good length out here at Raducanu and use her good movement. She covers the court so well and moves exceptionally well on a hard court, so a lot of balls into play, and then just be able to adjust to this particular match itself as it plays out.
Has a very good record against the top 10 in her career, Giorgi. In her last 8, she's won 6 of those. She'll be aware of the danger that she presents, no doubt.